come to think of it, Ishaya never told like his parents about anything that was happening in his life. You see what Ishaya was in school, always doing this shirt for carnivals and all of that. That was attention to details. And I was like, when I saw the thing like probably Sally, I was like, wow, actually, who is behind this thing? Like, I really love it. I love that. I love the attention to details there. Like, I was really glued. It was very captivating. A child is a child, regardless of the gender, right? So now, the next thing I'll be talking about is cinematography. And if you know me so well, you know how big I am on this one. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is like a first time here, you're welcome. This is my little space on YouTube. No, actually like a big space on YouTube where I create content and I talk about relatable stuffs and I make vlogs. I live in Lagos, Nigeria. So my name is Gbemi. Please do well to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button beside it so that you can know when I drop content like this. And if this is your first time, you're welcome back. Chop knuckle, you're my hoodie. So in today's video, I'll be reviewing a movie, a Netflix series actually. A Netflix original series actually, and that's Far From Home. If you've not seen Far From Home, I think you should see the movie maybe after this review, because I'm actually not going to spoil the movie for you. So I think you should literally like just watch the movie. It was worth my watch actually, and also like it exceeded my expectations. Like I didn't expect too much, I'm not going to lie. And when I watched the movie, I was like, oh wow, there's future in Nollywood, to be honest. So if you've not seen Far From Home, is on Netflix. You can actually just search for it and watch it, and then come back to comment if it was like, if everything I said in this video was right. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so Far From Home was actually produced by up to like 4 people. Like when I was seeing the executive producers, I was like, all these people produced this movie, and I'm like, okay, I cannot remember your name, let me just write them down. So I wrote the names down, and then the executive producers were Damola Ademola, Erika Klopa, Chinazo Onozo, Zulumoke Oyibo. And this movie was actually written by Jola Yeye and Nkiru Njoku. You guys know Jola from I Said podcast. She actually wrote she was part of the writers, and the head writer is Dami Elebe. The director is Kayode Kasum. Kayode Kasum actually directed Sole, he directed Sugar Rush, he directed Kasu and Kasu season 2, directed This Lady Called Life, Kwam's Money, and and I think Obim. He directed all these movies, and then it was, I think that when I saw like one series like that or one movie, I said I didn't like Kayode Kasum's production. Not like they were bad, but just it's always giving this comic feeling. So I just feel like when I watched this movie, Kambili, yeah, he directed Kambili as well. I was like, it's giving too much comic vibe for me, and I was like, I don't like his production. But lately, I think I'm beginning to like his productions. After I watched Castle and Castle and this movie, I said, okay, I think I actually like his production. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to be touching on some part of the movie that are very important, and then the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the plot. So guys, this movie is actually realistic, and the story is about like a young guy that was trying to like live up to his dreams. Like his parents doesn't have money to fund his dreams, so he was trying so hard to make sure that he live up to his dreams, pay his bills and all of that. So he was doing all he could to make sure that he got money to fund his dreams and all of that. In the process of doing that, his money was stolen, stuff like that. And then he pushed him to doing some certain things, and then he pushed him into making sure that he pursued his dreams to get money and a lot of other stuff. And in the process of doing that, he got into some chaos, and then in the process of doing that, we got into the rich people's family and the chaos that actually goes on in their lives as well. And then to me, this plot is actually a very nice one, and it's quite realistic, because what happens in the life of the poor people is actually chaos, and then on the other hand, the rich people as well have chaos going on in their life. Some people have too much money to deal with, such that they don't know how to handle their children. Some people don't have any money at all, such that they do not know how to take care of the children as well. So that's what the movie is about. If you ask me, it's actually a very good movie, because like I was carried along. It was captivating, and I must say it touched my emotions a quite number of times. And one of the moments that it touched my emotions was when this man, the father, said they were going to, when he handed over the money to him and said, okay, take this money, you cannot live with us again, just go. And I'm like, I almost cried. And when the man actually went to sell the hat, it was on a wheelchair, and he went to sell the hat, like that was really very emotional for me. And then I saw into somebody trying so hard to fend for his family, because it was always on his face that, oh, you didn't provide for the family and all of that. So that was really very emotional for me. So the plot to me was a very good one, I'm not going to lie. The storyline is very realistic. The Rambo part is very realistic. There are people like that will always want to get their way out of everything, no matter who no matter who goes for it and everything. So there are people like that. So the second thing I'll be touching on is the theme and the tone. So this movie is actually supposed to educate and entertain at the same time. You know, there was actually some punchlines that actually go from this movie, and the first one was when Ishaya went back to, after they discussed about the kidnapping, and then Ishaya went to see government, and then government told him that this is not the kidnapping session. I'm like, sorry, he said the kidnapping department is down there. I'm like, oh wow, nice. That punchline was actually very, very, very mad. I think the movie was actually supposed to entertain and educate, and bring awareness to the fact that a lot of chaos are happening in the life of the poor people, also in the life of the rich people. Like, we all have issues we are dealing with as human beings, and also to let parents know that your child is at risk of being vulnerable to whatever it is when you're not taking care of them, or you're not paying attention to them and all of that. Okay, so the third thing I will be talking about is the acting and the characters. Now, so the casting director for this is Uduak Ogbuamanam, and I don't know if he's going to see this, or I don't know if she or he going to be seeing this. You did an amazing job, and I'm not going to lie. When I first saw the poster, I went on Twitter when they did the premiere. I went on Twitter, and then somebody was saying that they were too old for secondary school students and it's not realistic, which I actually agreed with. I posted, and but I didn't say anything, but I actually had conversation with certain people, and I agreed with what the person said, right? Because I was looking at it like, okay, truly these people are too old for secondary school. When I saw the poster and I saw the person in the middle, I'm like, wait, what? Why is this person in secondary school? This person in the middle. I'm like, so when I watched it, I realized that, okay, this person is actually not supposed to be in school. It was supposed to be on the street, but because he was trying to chase his dream, he came to school and all of that. So the casting were actually good, including like the new characters that I just saw, like Michael. I've not seen him in movies before, but he delivered so well. I mean, he delivered so well. Reggie, I've not seen him in a movie before, he delivered. Who else again? Like, see, as I'm laughing, Baidu delivered so perfectly well. And Ishaya's dad too delivered so well. I think Ishaya is actually Emeka Afolarin, that's his name. He's just trying to come up stage, and he actually also delivered. Elma, that is Carmen, he did it so well. Olumide bodied this, like almost all of these guys bodied their roles perfectly well. Tomi Ojo, Bubemi, every one of them brought the character into life, and I was like, how did Uduak do this? For God's sake, every single person in that movie brought their character to life. RMD, Linda, like, Erica was that teacher that, just flex teacher, come to class. Like, all those teachers that they are not always everywhere. Like, that is who she was in the movie, and then she delivered. Adesua, Adesua is always this person that she has this I'm an observant person character, and she brought that into the movie, and I really love it. I mean, I really, really love it so much. And I'm like, okay, I love this. So every of the characters bodied, and I could feel the emotions from like their characters whenever they are Frank too delivered, and Inena, I've not seen Inena in movies before, but I think she's actually a teen actor or whatever, but I've actually seen her I've not seen her in movie, and she delivered so well. I mean, and Genoveva Ume too, she delivered her role perfectly well. And I must say, Uduak did a very, very good job. He or she did a very nice job by casting these people. And Funke Akindele too did so perfectly well. Like the look, the attitude, every single thing was perfect. She actually brought life into the role. My God, I love it so much. It's just amazing. You know, Nollywood too. Nollywood is this person that is like all this Baba Toga, but he did it so perfectly well. And then this government, I don't know his real name, government too did it so well. I mean, I love this. I love the characters. I could feel it. Everything they were doing was they put everything into it, and I love the fact that they came out of their comfort zones, like especially Elma, by the way, that is Carmen. She there's a way she acts, and I'm like, oh my God, like I could sometimes I would just want to cry when she, even her look, I'll be like, oh my God, Elma, if you watch this video by chance, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Don't be a joke. Wait, me, I love you. Like, you did so amazing well. So, yeah, you did so. Next thing I'll be talking about is the direction of this movie. I love what Kayode Kasum did, how he decided to tell the story. Because when you actually, I think I tell people that direction is important, even in content creation, in photography, direction is important. I think in anything, even if you want to design something, you might have like the idea of what you want to design, but you need to have a direction of, okay, how do I want this thing to go, right? Direction is very important. I love how Kayode Kasum decided to tell this story. Like, the storytelling was like I was really glued. It was very captivating. I was really glued to my screen. I was supposed to go out, but I said I was going to watch like 2 or 3 episodes, and then when I come back, but I was glued to my screen such that I went out very late yesterday, because guy, it was so good. It was that good. I'm not going to lie, it was that good. I love how he decided to, carry us along consistently. Do you understand? And then suspense, I think one of the suspense that actually struck me was when Ogarambo let loose of Angel, in quotes, and I was like, is it going to die? But I honestly know that it wasn't going to die, because that suspense didn't work, because I honestly know that that was episode 3. I was supposed to die in episode 3. This is actually like the actor of the movie, so that didn't work. A suspense that actually worked was when these Ogarambo guys, like, entered the school and was looking for Carmen and Ishaya, and I was like, are they going to catch them? Are they going to beat up these guys? So what if they catch them and all of that? Because if they actually catch them, it was going to be another plot twist, so it was still going to work. I think that suspense actually worked. Another suspense that worked was when Ishaya was trying to, look for a script to present, and I was like, it's just trying to go into work, and it worked. But I think the reason why it didn't work was because we already know that it was going to go to the school, so there is no way the transcript would not have worked. And it's not like how we would have gotten to the school without transcript working. But another suspense that I could say, worked for me was when I was supposed to collect the money. In my mind I was like, it's going to get this money, and then they said the many money is 5,000. I'm like, bro, from 6 million euros to 5k. I mean, it must be very, very difficult. Sorry, Ishaya, I'm very, very sorry, but you came to a rich school, so you should be able to, know that how these things work that way. The direction of the storytelling was really good, and I like it. I really love it. Okay, another thing I'll be talking about is the music. Guys, I think it's called score in cinematography or movie industry. It's called score, but let's use the word music here. Every music went with the mood of this scene, and I love it. I love how each music like goes into, this suspenseful music sound. There's this, lively sound. There's always this sound that, this sober sound and all of that. So the music actually played with the mood of all the scenes and the script and the movie. I love the choice of music and all of that. I think it would have been better if they made their own music themselves. Oh, either ways, I love the choice of the music. So now the next thing I'll be talking about is cinematography. And if you know me so well, you know how big I am on this one. Guys, the cinematography was nice. It was mad. I mean, I love the usage of the drones. I love the usage of the gimbal or whatever it is that they used. Bro, I love how the perspectives came together. I love how they were shot. I love when Ishaya and for example when Ishaya and his sister was going to school, the Raila was going to school, there's the way the drone was coming down, and I was like, nice. Like, to give the details of the school and to know that okay, this school is not small, you know. You don't have to tell us that it's a okay, we know it's a rich school, but we have to see to believe. So the drone actually made us see all these things. And then I love how, like, god, I'm big on cinematography, like, guys, and I'm big on angles. So I love how the drone captured all these things. And you know, I was like, and also Shaya is from Isaleko, right? So I love how the camera captured the Saleko proper. I mean, I could literally feel the Lagos Island part from the movie. If you've been to Lagos Island before, you stay in Lagos Island, you know what I'm talking about. Or you stay in a trenches part of Lagos, you know what I'm talking about if you watch the movie. I love how it depicts like a proper trenches in Lagos, and they actually used Lagos Island in that place. I'm like, oh yeah, I love that. So I love how it pictured, like, it carried the drone actually showed the details of Lagos Island. I'm like, okay, nice. And also when Inena and Atlas were talking and about Carmen, that Inena gave Atlas a bracelet. I think the way the camera, if you watch that place well, the way the camera was positioned, I love it. Ah, God. I was like, bro, I'd never thought of a camera being like this. I really love it. I really love it. Like, it was like they were actually like in a transparent, like, normally the camera would have been facing them or maybe at the back, but this person actually puts the camera in a place where they were afar, like in a, to let us know that okay, they were talking at the balcony. I love the details of that. And the camera was well framed, you know, everything, the attention to details was great. I love the lighting, I love the color, the right exposure. God, the cinematography was great. I mean, it was as if I would want to pick the people from my screen. I'm not exaggerating right now. Like, it was like I want to pick these people from the screen, from my screen. It was that good. I love the cinematography. I love the cinematography so much. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the production design. And the production design was good, guys. The costume fit into these people. Like, you see what Ishaya wore to the school? It was something like Isaleko, and that is the proper Isaleko, or what these trenches guys. Like, they're always, you know, always doing this shirt for carnivals and all of that. That was attention to details. And I was like, when I saw the thing like Saleko, I mean, probably Saleko, I was like, wow, actually, who is behind this thing? Like, I really love it. I love that. I love the attention to details there. And I love how the story was told there. Like, okay, oh, I love, you know, you don't have to say things before you say things. You understand? And I love Raila's outfit as well, you know. But where I had issues was when this guy, Frank, where Frank took us to the ball, I saw the makeup and I'm like, how? Like, I'm like, how? Okay, fine, would have booked the makeup artist for her, but that was too quick. I'm very sure she has never done that kind of makeup in her life before, so there should be a backstory about that. Maybe when she saw, maybe it could have just been, maybe she was doing the makeup and then somebody, she saw herself and she was like, is this me, something like that, because that was just, it was, the makeup was too perfect. And I'm like, who was behind this? Okay, fine, then I might have helped, but at the same time I expected a little bit of drama there, but the makeup was too perfect. I'm like, okay. But aside that, I think the makeup, like, the whole set designing, the costume was nice, the apartment, the way Funke Akindele was looking throughout the movie, you know, I love the makeup on her. I loved the way the father, Ishaya's father, was looking too. They were looking frustrated and unhappy, and I love it so much. I love the costume. I love what Carmen wore to the dinner. I love what Zena wore. I love like I attention to, like, this movie has a lot of attention to details, and it was an excellent one for me. Really, it was a great production. When I watch movie, I watch the production, I watch the storytelling, the storyline. But this actually was a very great production. The costume designer was Rolanda Okereke, and I was expecting this, Yolanda is not a very small person. So I was expecting this, and it exceeded my expectation really. And like I said again, everything was perfect. The set design, the location, the makeup, the outfit, costume, every single thing was perfect. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is the editing. So guys, I love the editing. The editing was clean. I love the color grading. Like, if you know me, color grading is a thing for me. I love the color grading. I love the editing. The editing was clean. It was smooth and all of that. One thing I don't like about it is the transitions were too much. In as much as I love transitions, it keeps people engaged and visually, but at the same time I don't like the transitions were too much. They were a bit too much. Like every single thing I've seen, this one move like this one move like that. I'm like, bro. So I love the transitions, but they were a little bit too much. But overall, the editing was amazing. The editing was amazing. Whoever edited this movie, you did a very nice job. I love it so much. It was clean, straight to the point. Like no unnecessary clip, nothing. It was clean and smooth. Can you marry me, please? As a gift for the work you did, I want to give myself as an offering. Next thing I'll be talking about is the dialogue. The dialogue was nice. I think every single dialogue was necessary. There's no part of the dialogues that were not necessary. Like when Nina and Atlas were talking, everything was necessary. So there was no part of it. There was no like the dialogues like kept moving going, and the characters embodied the dialogue. Like the people that actually had to show emotions did. The people that had to show certain skills did. Funke Akindele was actually a very good person in this dialogue thingy. She was communicating her emotions. I think one thing I was going to say about Funke Akindele in this movie is she's kind of selfish. She allows her emotions get into the way, and I think it's typical of African parents. They think with their emotions, right? And that was exactly what she was doing, because come to think of it, okay, your son died, like um I'm not being insensitive and say she should forget about it, but I think she should understand that everybody's going through the pain too. She's not the only one going through the pain, but she speaks about it every single time and makes every single person go through the pain. Like, do you understand? So I love how she communicated her emotions in the movie. Every dialect that she says comes with the emotions, and I love it. And this Elma, by the way, as well, that's Carmen. I love how she was communicating her emotions through words and dialogues. And sometimes when I look at her face when she's talking, I want to cry. Like, that's how much I love the dialogues. Like, she did it so well. Every dialogues in this movie was a hit, and none of them were unnecessary. None of them was none of them none of them was unnecessary, really. None of them was unnecessary. All the side dialogues were even necessary, because we needed to know that some things were happening behind the scenes and all of that. They were very necessary. One that stood out for me was when Ishaya went to meet this girl at the polo club. I was like, okay, I love this, but low key Sha, I the sheep Shaya and Carmen. These are the things I'll be touching as regards the movie. But overall, I think one thing is that one thing that stood out for me in this movie is the fact that it brings up the issues that happen in rich homes and poor homes, and it's very realistic, right? It shows that, okay, in rich kids have their problems as well. Like, okay, the money is too much, they don't have time for the children, or probably the children are too spoiled, or they have a problem that they are dealing with that they have to solve all the days of their life. And then the poor kids are there, they have dreams, they are okay. In fact, they are drinking career and they are looking so good, but at the same time there's no money the family could use to fund their dreams, lifestyle, and everything. And then the child resort to doing certain stuff that are not legal in some cases. And for a typical Isaleko, like us Isaleko boys, Mushin, Agigi, Bariga boys, that is typical of them, really. That's very typical of them, and it's very realistic. Come to think of it, Ishaya never told like his parents about anything that was happening in his life. And I honestly think that to an extent it was one of the factors that led him to everything he was doing, because it shows that there was no like cordial relationship between them, because he goes admission to London, and opportunity to go to London, his father and mother didn't know. He got an opportunity to enter a school, they didn't know. Like, I think they didn't have a smooth relationship, and that is, typical of, and that is, I think African parents understand that they don't pay attention and they're not very observant, and they think that a man should always be bold, a man should always be courageous to take care of themselves, which should not be. A child is a child regardless of the gender, right? A child is a child. They're responsible for them, right? So, but overall, like I said, I love this production, I love the storyline, except for the few boards that I have mentioned earlier. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this movie. If you've watched and you agree with me, let me know. If you have reservations, let me know as well. And by the way, I was told that it's not secondary school, that is they are A-level students. I was like, okay, that's nice as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed the movie as well, if you didn't enjoy, let me know what you think or why you didn't enjoy it. So share this video with your friends, subscribe to my channel right now, hit the notification bell beside it, because I think I'll be doing more movie reviews. What else should you do? Comment, like I've said, subscribe. What else? Make sure you watch my next video. Bye guys.